Om Shanti, everyone. It's good to be here today. Yes, and I'm reading Murli today from Sister Jasmine Center or Shagwana Center. And today Baba is talking about purity. The whole Murli is on purity. What an important aspect of our Brahmin life is purity. With purity, what happens is purity is that door that opens to all the virtues. So when we have purity, then we have access to all the purity, to all the virtues that are within the soul. Without purity, we can't access any of them. Or we may be able to access them, but we may not be able to access them at times when we really need it. So purity is the key to open the door to all the treasures. And why we need all the treasures is only when we have purity can we use all the treasures and accumulate more and more treasures. And it is with purity that we are able to accumulate as much treasures as we want to or as we need to. And with those treasures, when we do service, then people would bless us from their hearts. People would bless us from their hearts, and those blessings would help us to fly to the world of Baba. That is the incorporeal world. The incorporeal world where Baba is sitting and waiting for us. Yes? So let's listen. It's all on purity. So you listen with, and purity according to Srimad. If we live purity according to Srimad, only then we are able to come into the golden age. Not purity for no reason or for some other reason. You know, some people are pure because of health reason. Some people are pure because it is a good lifestyle. I asked one girl, I said, why don't you eat, onion and garlic and all those things? She said, because it is the right thing to do. Yeah. So this is not only because of the right thing to do, but because of God's instructions. So let's listen. Essence, sweet children, become pure by following Srimad, and you will be liberated from the punishment of Dharamraj. In order to become like a diamond, drink the nectar of knowledge and renounce poison. So, sweet children, the essence again, sweet children, become pure by following Srimad, and you will be liberated from the punishment of Dharamraj. In order to become like a diamond, the most expensive jewel or the most expensive stone in the world is a diamond. So in order to become like a diamond, what you have to do? Drink the nectar of knowledge and renounce poison. Question: on what is a golden aged stage based? What determines, what determines that you will go to the golden age or you will not? So Baba says the answer is, it is based on purity. Stay in remembrance and you will definitely become pure. Stay in remembrance and you will definitely become pure. Only by becoming pure, only by becoming pure will you receive salvation. Those who don't become pure will experience punishment and return to their own religion. You may live at home with your families, but do not remember any bodily beings. Remain pure and you will claim a high status. So the answer again, once more, it is based on what is your golden aged status based on? Purity. Stay in remembrance and you will definitely become pure. Only by becoming pure will you receive salvation. Those who don't become pure will experience punishment and return to their own religion. This is what Baba is speaking about. Other people who belong to other religions, not to the deity religion. So what he says here, those who don't become pure will experience punishment and return to their own religion. That is to the Buddhists or to the Christians or whoever, or Islam. You may live at home with your family, but do not remember any bodily being. Remain pure and you will claim a high status. Remain pure and you will claim a high status. And the song, having found you, we have found everything. The earth and sky all belong to us.
तुम्हें पाके हूँ जहाँ पा लिया है, तुम्हें पाके हूँ जहाँ पा लिया है। ज़मीं तो ज़मीं आसमां पा लिया है, तुम्हें पाके हूँ जहाँ पा लिया है, तुम्हें पाके हूँ।
Beautiful, isn't it? Having found you, we have found everything. The earth, the sky, everything belongs to us. So, Om Shanti, God Shiva speaks. No one else can be called God. Only the one incorporeal Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is called, the Supreme Soul is called Shiv Baba. He is the Father of all souls. Firstly, have the faith that we are definitely Shiv Baba's children. At a time of sorrow, people call out, "O Supreme Soul, protect us. Have mercy on us." They don't even know it is their soul who are remembering the Supreme Soul. They don't even know it is their souls who is remembering the Supreme Soul. He is the Father of our souls. At this time, the world is full of impure souls. At this time, what is happening at this time? The world is full of impure souls. They sing, "We are degraded sinners, whereas you are completely viceless." Yet, they do not consider themselves to be that. Don't consider themselves to be completely viceless. The Father explains, since you say that God is the one Father, that makes all of you brothers. Then in terms of your bodies, you are all brothers and sisters. You are children of Shiv Baba and also children of Prajapita Brahma. That one is your unlimited Father, Teacher, and Guru. He says, I do not make you impure. What it means is he says, I do not make you impure. I have come to make you pure, but only if you follow my directions. You'll become pure when? Only when you follow God's directions. Here, all human beings follow the dictate of Ravan. The five vices are present in everyone. The Father says, children, now become viceless. Follow Srimat. Mean you become viceless based on Srimat. However, they still don't renounce the vices, and so they don't become the masters of heaven. All have become sinners like Ajamil. You know, Ajamil was a great sinner. He was a butcher, really. And he listened to God and became pure also. So all have become sinners like Ajamil. This is Ravan's community, the cottage of sorrow. And everyone is experiencing so much sorrow. The cottage of Ravan is full of sorrows. And Sita had been placed in the cottage of Ravan when she crossed the line that Lakshman had placed, that she should do whatever, but don't cross that line. What is that line? That line is the code of conduct. So once you cross the line of the codes of conduct, you will be taken over by Ravan, meaning you will be taken over by the vices. And the minute the vices sets in, you suffer. You suffer. So you need to be out of the vices. So this is Ravan's community, the cottage of sorrow. And everyone is experiencing so much sorrow. The Father comes and creates the kingdom of Rama. So you children understand that this is a true battlefield. Yes, the Mahabharata is not the true battlefield. This right now is the true battlefield. In the Gita, God says, what does God say in the Gita? Lust is the greatest enemy. Conquer it. However, they do not conquer it. The Father now sits here and explains to you. You souls listen through your organs and then relate it to others. It is the soul that acts. I am a soul. I adopt a body and play a part. So we are really souls. We adopt a body to play our parts, in this world drama. So I am a soul and I adopt a body to play a part. However, instead of being soul conscious, human beings have become body conscious. The Father says, now become soul conscious. In the golden age, you remain soul conscious. You don't know the Supreme Soul. Here, you are body conscious and you do not know the Supreme Soul. This is why you have become degraded. People don't even understand what degradation is. Those who have a lot of wealth think they are sitting in heaven. The Father says they will all become poor because destruction has to take place. It is good that destruction takes place. Why is it good? We will then go to the land of liberation. Therefore, you should be happy about this. You are making preparations to die. Human beings are afraid of dying. The Father is making you worthy of being taken to paradise. So what is Baba teaching us to do here? How to die alive, die of our old sanskars, die of our old habits, all old family and relatives and everything else. And when we die from all of that, what do we become? When we die, we become immortal. So Baba is saying the Father is making you worthy of being taken to paradise. Impure ones continue to take rebirth in the impure world. None of them are residents of heaven. The Father says, the main thing is to become pure. Without becoming pure, you cannot go to the pure world. It is because of purity that innocent ones are beaten. They consider poison to be nectar. The Father says, I make you become like diamonds with the nectar of knowledge. So why do you drink poison and become like worthless shells? Baba is giving you the nectar of knowledge. So why do you forsake that and drink poison? Baba is asking. You have been drinking poison for half the cycle since the copper age started. Now obey my instructions. And what is Baba's instructions? Now obey my instructions. Otherwise what will happen with you? Otherwise there will have to be punishment from Dharam Raj. There'll have to be punishment from Dharam Raj. Even a worldly father says, children, don't perform such actions that you defame the name of the family. The unlimited father says, follow Srimad and become pure. What the unlimited father says, follow Srimad and become pure. If you sit on the fire of lust, you will become uglier than you are now. What will happen? You will become uglier than you are now. You are now made to sit on the fire of knowledge and made beautiful. By sitting on the fire of lust, you will not be able to see the face of heaven. By sitting on the fire of lust, you will not be able to see the face of heaven. This is why the Father says, now follow Srimad. The Father only speaks to his children. Only you children know that the Father has come to give you the inheritance of heaven. The Iron Age is about to end. The Iron Age is now about to end. Only for those who follow the Father's Srimad will there be salvation. So who will receive salvation? Only those who follow the Father's Srimad. There will be salvation. If they don't become pure, they will experience punishment and then return to their religion. The residents of Bharat were the residents of heaven. They have now become impure. They don't even know about heaven. They have now become impure. They don't even know about heaven. The Father says, if you don't follow my directions, but follow the dictates of others instead, and indulge in vice, you will die. You will die. Then, although you will go to heaven towards the end, the status you claim will be very low. Those who are wealthy now will be poor, and those who are poor here will become wealthy there. The Father is the Lord of the poor. Everything depends on Everything depends on purity. Everything here depends on purity. And so, Baba says, everything depends on purity. You will become pure by having yoga with the Father. You know, whatever you are remembering, you are becoming like that at that moment. So the more you remember Baba, the more you will become like Baba. And at the end, if you made effort during your lifetime, then at the end, what will happen? Whatever you have been remembering most of the time, that is what will come in the memory. So Baba is saying, you will become pure by having yoga with the Father. The Father explains to the children, I teach you Raj Yoga. I do not make you renounce your home and family. Stay at home with your family, but don't indulge in vice. And don't remember any bodily being. At this time, all are impure, whereas in the golden age, there were pure deities. Now, they too have become impure. By taking rebirth, you have now reached your last birth. This is our last birth in this cycle. So, what we have to do in this last birth, we have to become pure again to go back home. So, when we came from the home, we were pure. And now we have to return to that home of purity. So Baba is saying, now they too have become impure. By taking rebirth, you have now reached your last birth. All of you are Parvatis. Now the Father, the Lord of immortality, is telling you the story of immortality to make you into masters of the land of immortality. It doesn't mean that you wouldn't die there, but you will just leave. You leave one port to go to another. It's like you taking a flight, you know? So you don't die. What is death really? Death is the fear. Death is fear of the unknown. But there you know where you are going. You have seen your mother and father before. You had a vision of them. So you go there. So there is no fear for anything. So what Baba is saying, therefore now remember the Father, the Lord of immortality. Only by having remembrance will your sins be absolved. It isn't that Shiva, Shankar, or Parvati are sitting on the mountains. All of that is the stumbling of the path of devotion. For half the cycle, you stumbled a great deal. Now Baba says, I will send you to heaven. I will send you to heaven. There is nothing but happiness in the golden age. You neither stumble nor fall. The main thing is to remain pure. When there is a lot of violence here, the urn of sin becomes full, and and destruction takes place. You have heard this in the Bhakti stories, no? That when the urn is filled, the urn of sin is filled, then destruction will take place. So Baba saying, now become pure for one birth, and you will become the masters of the pure world. However, this only applies to those who follow Srimad. Those who don't follow Srimad, in those who didn't follow Srimad in the previous cycle, will not follow it now and will not claim a status. That's a very powerful sentence there. Those who didn't follow Srimad in the previous cycle will not follow it now and will not claim a status. You are children of the one Father. You are brothers and sisters among yourselves. However, if after belonging to the Father you fall, you will go into the depths of hell and become even more sinful souls. This is God's government. Whose government is this? This is God's government. If you do not become pure by following my directions, there will have to be very severe punishment from Dharamraj. There will have to be punishment experienced for whatever sins you have committed for birth after birth, and the account will be settled in that way. So what will happen? There will have to be very severe punishment from Dharamraj. There will have to be punishment experienced for whatever sins you have committed for birth after birth, and the accounts will be settled in that way. You will either have to have your sins burnt away with the power of yoga, or there will be severe punishment. There are so many Brahma Kumars and Kumaris, and they all remain pure. They are making Bharat into heaven. What they are doing? They are making Bharat into heaven. You are Shiv Shakti, Pandav army. Both gopis and gopis are included in this. God is teaching you. Lakshmi and Narayan are called a goddess and God. God, capital G. God must definitely have given them the inheritance. But Lakshmi and Narayan are goddess and God, lowercase g or common g. But God with a capital G must definitely have given them the inheritance. It is God alone who comes and makes you into deities. In the Golden Age, there were the king, queen, and subjects. All of them were elevated. It is now the kingdom of Ravan. If you want to go to the kingdom of Rama, become pure and follow the directions of Ram. If you want to go to the kingdom of Rama, become pure and follow directions of Rama. By following the dictates of Ravan, you have become degraded. By following the dictates of Ravan, you have become degraded. It is remembered. What is remembered of that time? Some people's wealth will be buried on the ground, and that others will be looted. Some people's wealth will be buried on the ground, and others will be looted. And you know, when there was that earthquake in Bhuj, I don't know how many of you have been to India, to Gujarat, when there was that, you know, that earthquake in Bhuj, One man had money buried on the ground in the pillars, and he told the people, he said, if you want, you can go and take it, but who will go there then? And nobody would know where to go and how to do and whatever. So all that went to waste, and he didn't get back any of it. So while alive, if he had given that money for God's service, that would have accumulated in his account. So Baba is saying some people's wealth will be buried on the ground, and that of others will be looted. And you know, in New York, when we had the blackout in some years ago now, people in Brooklyn, not Manhattan, but in Brooklyn, people broke open the stores and take every shoe from the store. So that will happen more and more. People hide gold on the ground or in the walls. If they die suddenly, everything just remains there. Destruction has to take place. When earthquakes, etc., take place, many thieves appear at that time. The Father, the Lord and Master, has now come to make you belong to Him and to make you into masters of the world. Nowadays, even people in the stage of retirement cannot live without vice. They have become absolutely tamo pradhan. They don't even recognize the Father. The Father says, I have come to make you pure. If you indulge in vice, there will be severe punishment. I have come to make you pure and to establish the pure world. You then become impure and cause obstacles. You are creating obstacles in the creation of heaven. And so there will be very severe punishment. I have come to make you into residents of heaven. If you don't renounce vice, there will be a lot of punishment from Dharamraj. You will then cry out in distress. This is the court of Indra. There is the story of the angels of knowledge. When an impure person was brought into the gathering, that vibrations was felt. Did you hear that? When an impure person was brought into the gathering, that vibrations were felt. No impure person is allowed to sit here in the gathering. No one is allowed to sit here without making a promise of purity. Otherwise, the one who brings such a person will also be blamed. The Father knows everything. Therefore, He is giving teaching of. Therefore, He is giving teachings for any of you who still brings such a person. By remembering Shiv Baba, souls become clean and pure, and the atmosphere becomes one of silence. Silence. The Father sits here and gives his introduction. What does he say? I am your Father. I am your Father. I have come to make you into deities from human beings, as I did 5,000 years ago. Claim your inheritance of unlimited happiness from the unlimited Father. So now is the time to claim the unlimited happiness from the unlimited Father. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost, and now form children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father. And essence for dharana. Settle all your sinful accounts with the power of yoga. Settle all your sinful accounts with the power of yoga. Purify and cleanse the soul and make the atmosphere peaceful. This is what is needed more and more, because people don't have the strength, they don't have the willpower to connect with God. So when they come into your space that is so peaceful, they will also become peaceful. And two, follow the Father's Srimad and promise to become completely pure. Follow the Father's Srimad and promise to become completely pure. Do not be influenced by vices and thereby become an obstruction in the creation of heaven. Don't be influenced by vices and thereby become an obstruction to the creation of heaven and blessing. May you make accurate decisions with the cleanliness of your mind and intellect and become full of success. May you make accurate decisions with the cleanliness of your mind and intellect and become full of success. You can achieve success in any task when your intellect makes the right decision at the right time. So you must have that clean intellect, mind and intellect. Yes? So you can achieve success in any task when your intellect makes the right decision at the right time. However, the power to decide works when your mind and intellect are clean and there is no rubbish in them. This is why you have to burn any rubbish in the fire of yoga and make your intellect clean. Any type of weakness is rubbish. Any type of weakness we may have, what is it? Is rubbish. The slightest waste thought is also rubbish. When this rubbish is destroyed, you can then remain carefree. When this rubbish is destroyed, you can remain carefree. Then, because of having a clean intellect, you will achieve success in every task. So the intellect need to be clean, the mind and intellect. Then the right decisions will be made by the intellect. And once we make the right decision, we will have success. It will be ours. And slogan, when pure and elevated thoughts constantly emerge in you, all waste will automatically become merged. When pure and elevated thoughts constantly emerge in you, all waste will automatically become merged. So the negativity will be merged and the positive thoughts will emerge. Om Shanti. So we have sweet elevated versions of Mateshwari, of Mama. And she is talking about the same Murli. Hear what she says. When the iron-aged world called the why is the iron-aged world called the world without any essence, without any strength? Because this world has no essence, no strength. That is, nothing has any strength. It doesn't have any purity, peace, and happiness. There used to be purity, peace, and happiness on this earth at one point. But it doesn't exist now because everyone has the 5 evil spirits in them. This is why this world is called the ocean of fear. This is why this world is called the ocean of fear. That is the ocean of karmic bondages. Everyone in this world is unhappy and calls out to God, "Oh God, take us away from this ocean." This shows that there must have definitely been a world without fear, a world that is fearless, which is why they want to go there, which is why they want to go to, which is where they want to go to. This is why this world is called the ocean of sin, which they want to cross and go to the world of charitable souls. So there are 2 worlds, the golden aged world that has essence, and the other is the iron aged world without essence. Both worlds exist here on earth. And she continues, people say, "Oh God, take us across to the ocean, to the other side." What they say? Take us across the ocean to the other side. What does this other side mean? People think that the other side means to enter the cycle of birth and death. That is to be liberated. They think, that is what they think. What they think? People think that the other side means not to enter the cycle of birth and death. That is to be liberated. This is what people say. But God says, well, what does God say? Children, I take you to that world where there truly is peace and happiness, which is beyond sorrow and peacelessness. Since you want happiness, that should definitely be in this life. Since you want happiness, that should definitely be in this life. You have to experience it here and now. That was the golden age in paradise, the world of deities, where they always had a happy life. Those deities were said to be immortal. Immortal also doesn't mean anything. What? What was she saying here? The deities were said to be immortal. Immortal also doesn't mean anything. It isn't that the lifespan of deities was so long that they never died. To say that is wrong because it is not like that. Their lifespan doesn't last through the golden and silver ages. To say that, to say that is wrong because it is not like that. That their lifespan doesn't last through the golden and silver ages. The deities have many births in the golden and silver ages. They ruled the kingdom very well for 21 births. And then they took 63 births from the copper age to the end of the iron age. That means they just left. They didn't have death. Death is fear. Fear of the unknown. But they didn't have any fear. They knew their mother and father before they left their old bodies. So they just had to leave this old body and go into another womb. So that is what it means. So what she says here, they ruled the kingdom very well for 21 births, and then they took 63 births from the Copper Age to the end of the Iron Age. In total, they had 21 births of ascending stage and 63 births of descending stage. When she says ascending stage, it doesn't mean that their stage ascended, then. The only time when our stage ascend is now in the confluence, because the minute we come into the golden age, from day one, the day one, we start losing our purity and divinity because we taking birth and rebirth and birth again. So we losing that divinity. But in comparison to the 63 births that we have become real degraded, those two births are said to be elevating, ascending. In total, human beings take 84 births. It is a mistake to believe that human beings go through 8.4 million species. If human beings can experience their path of both happiness and sorrow as humans, then what is the need to experience anything in the animal species? They are already experiencing. Look at how much difficulties there are today, how much peacelessness, how much sorrow, how much all of everything, that there is no need for them to experience anything in the animal species. Totally, there can be 8.4 million species of animals, birds, etc. Because there are so many types of creation, human beings perform their sins and charity as humans, whereas animals experience everything in their species. Neither can human beings go into the animal species, nor do animals go into the human species. Human beings have to experience everything in their own species. This is why they experience happiness and sorrow in their human lives. In the same way, animals have to experience their happiness and sorrow in their own species. However, they don't, they don't have intellects to understand from which action, for which action they are suffering. Human beings feel their suffering because human beings are intelligent, but it isn't that human beings experience 8.4 million birds or million species. This is said This is said to create the fear that if we perform a wrong action, you will take birth in an animal kingdom. We are at this time, we are at this time of the confluence age, transforming our lives and changing from sinful souls to charitable souls. Acha, Om Shanti. Om Shanti.